I first looked at the chart for the month of July this year, 2020, I was struck by the fact that the moon was the only thing below the horizon, and above the horizon begins with Jupiter, the higher mind, and Mercury, the lower mind, in the house of relationship for Jupiter and transcendence for Mercury. We're going to talk more about that as we get into this for this July report. But before I do that, I want to remind you or inform you that this July 11th at East West Books online is going to be a panel discussion, a reset of what to expect for the rest of 2020. It's going to run from 10 a.m. to noon on July 11th. So if you're, and this is all Pacific time, so if you can manage to attend that, there's a cost for this. You'll have to pay. It's $23. And I'd really welcome your presence there if it's at all possible. So thanks very much, and have as best a July as you can. Here's the chart for the month of July 2020. This chart has Cancer Sun and rising and a Scorpio moon, which is the only body below the horizon. Cancer energy is about human energy and is ruled by the moon, which is in the Cancer section in Scorpio. This strongly suggests that the people feel passionate about the current situation. But the real challenge is the deep division of loyalties and opinions, coupled with lack of respect for the science community, which is also represented by the moon in Scorpio. The consciousness of humanity should, by now, be shocked into an awakened state. But then, ego consciousness is also derived from the moon and wholly manifest solely in human beings, the only species with a highly developed sense of self-awareness. This is how a philosophy of individualism has developed that helps to account for American familiarity, global as well, with conflict and racism, all of which now passes for healthy debate, while climate change marches us toward the brink of extinction. This chart and the lunar eclipse of July 5th speaks to all of that and to the pandemic, which is a direct result of the overexpansion of the human species. If you know your moon and rising signs, please listen to those as well. Aries, elevate your ambitions and resolve value conflicts by transforming your beliefs. Powerlessness is not the end, it is the beginning of the motivation for revolutionary change. Taurus, resolving your inner conflicts will help transform and revolutionize your own set of personal and social values while establishing your role in the process of change in the world. Gemini, conflicts begins with the mind and are embedded in the feelings. Transformation challenges you to grow by resourcing your inner conflicts with current social and political realities. Your consciousness strains, Cancer, under the need for a new or revised identity that can counter feelings of powerlessness. Change your thinking and empower yourself with newfound confidence. Leo, marshal all the resources you can as you need to lend an authentic voice to all who are willing to listen. You so strongly identify with those demanding change that it is necessary for you to speak out. Virgo, you are the foundation of what service means, and thus you uphold the social need to have something beautiful in which to believe. Now you need to elevate and transform your mind. Libra, within your consciousness lies the conflict that is held back by the laws of society, but your job is to yield to revolutionary transformations when you see the laws as unfair and prejudicial. Scorpio, dig down into your reserves and discover your innate ability to revive your capacity to believe in hope over fear and change instead of stagnation whilst hiding in your mental cave. Sagittarius, service in the form of compassion for the suffering of others is needed to overcome feeling powerless. Faith in yourself can help you respond to adversity with positive growth. Capricorn, the ball's in your court, Cap, and it is about transforming your reality in both small and large ways. Find a new direction for your ambitions and rebuild your personal life. Aquarius, with your identity under reconstruction, you feel confused about how to proceed. You need to choose between the past and the future. It is time to become a nurturing force. Pisces, revive the innermost core of your beliefs. It will help minimize the feeling of being powerless. Your ability to see life in its larger perspective calls forth your compassion for others. Politically now, the fact that the moon is the only body below the horizon places a heavy burden on individual people and humanity as a whole. The eclipse of July 5th in Capricorn exposes the extent of the damage as old values are breaking down, creating an uncertain future for everyone. The nodes of the moon also hold some answers that add up to a need for an end to fratricide in the form of war and expansionist greed. The North Node in the Aquarius part of Gemini challenges us to heed the need for transformation and revolutionary change, while the South Node denotes a duty to seek the end of wars and all forms of violence. All of this began in the 60s with the Uranus-Pluto conjunction, leading to liberating events like ending the Vietnam War and the women's liberation movement. From 2007 to 2020, these two planets have been square, reordering priorities and deconstructing social and political order, revealing the need for new structures and new motivating beliefs. Those new structures are pictured in the upper half of the chart. First, Jupiter in Capricorn appears in the house of war and peace. Mercury in Cancer in the house of transcendence is the last to appear. Jupiter represents the higher, more inclusive mind, leading the smaller, more limited personal mind toward rising above the chaos that now passes for reality. The people represented by the moon are thrust into the obligatory role of changing the direction of the world one country at a time. The T-square, or three-legged table, shows the work that is needed. It begins with the South Node in the house of duties and obligations, suggesting we must relinquish violence. This is square to the Mars-Chiron conjunction in Aries in the house of political authority, reducing the ability of government to act effectively. This is also square to the Mars-Chiron conjunction with the North Node in the Aquarian part of Gemini in the house of transcendence. The missing fourth leg is in Libra, in the people's house. Here is Libra. Here is social cohesion and harmony as human family. Here also is what is missing. Here is what we must strive to achieve: peaceful, worldwide cooperation in order to survive as a species.